Dr. Kemi for Kemi Talks Media. It's Saturday, the 25th of January, 2025. Let's talk about the top 3 young real estate moguls in Nigeria. And I know you're going to come for me in the comments because you have your own list. But as a journalist, I analyze things, stories, and I also investigate. There are things that you don't even know that I always bring out to you after my investigations and all that. So now this one is actually according to the number. So number 3, I should have not even given you the pictures. Number 3 is Phyno. I know you're saying, is this woman crazy? Phyno's a singer, is a rapper, is a musician. Yeah, that's what he masks himself with. Sometimes you can be something and you mask with another job. Look at me. I'm really a pharmacist. I'm really a PR specialist. And I mask with journalism. Okay, I have a degree in journalism and all 3. But Phyno is one of the biggest real estate moguls in Lagos right now. It's been like that, but it's like a matter of if you know, you know. Recently, a few years ago, he bought 20 units of apartments at, I think it's Empire Estate, like terrace apartments, and everything went on the news. He just had his baby girl and everything. Like, Phyno has been buying real estate in Lagos for years. Like one day I said, Phyno owns almost everything in Ikoyi. And everybody started abusing me. Hopefully now you've seen for yourself. He usually gathers apartments, new, even old ones, fixing them. He's a real estate mogul. That's what he does. Music is just on the side. It's the side hustle. So he's really good at it. He's very articulate. He's very, very detailed, very, focused on the real estate market. If you have a good real estate brand and a good real estate market is around, you will succeed in that. What's happening in Lagos is basically a lot of people are shady and they're not being truthful. No transparency, no disclosure, and all that. But Phyno is selling, buying, and fixing. He's a real estate mogul. That's my number 3. My number 2 is this guy in the middle, Abuja. Unwa David Charles. Let me tell you about Unwa David Charles, okay? He owns that company called Chavid. Unwa David Charles is another person that's very focused, attention to detail, very articulate, and very specific about the needs of real estate. This guy started as a real estate agent, okay? So he worked years as a real estate agent, and then he studied that job very well and started his own. Remember what I say about when you're going to be an entrepreneur, it's best you work in that field and then start your own business. All these years with the cable company, DSTV and Star Times and all these different cable companies, there should be one person in Nigeria who works for those companies, who used to install cables that could have opened their own. We have to think outside the box. And this is the problem in Nigeria. Nobody focuses on the bigger picture of thinking outside the box. And why David Charles did that. So his company Chavid, which is a combination of his name, is really thriving in Abuja, the Abuja real estate markets. He buys properties, sells properties, and I'm looking at Nwa David's Chavid company as number 1 in Abuja in 5 years. He is really moving, and you want to, try and see his properties and all that. Now remember, my lists are not endorsements or they've paid her to do this or I'm promoting the companies. I'm just doing news and information. So this is my number 2. Who are David Charles? Number 1, the top young real estate mogul in Nigeria is Sujimoto. Okay. By the way, if you look at my list, it says Nigeria. It doesn't say Lagos. It just happens to be, 2 of them are in Lagos. Let's talk about Sujimoto, okay? His real name is Shijibomi Ogundele. Dr. Shijibomi Ogundele. I don't know what doctorate he has. I think he has a law degree. It could be Doctor of Law. Well, like today, it's Doctor of Real Estate. That's what we're giving him, okay? Ogundele is very charismatic when it comes to building. I've never met any of these guys, but you can just see them through the mirror. The kind of buildings that he builds are very much on the high side, luxury real estate. Now, you guys know luxury real estate. When you enter Banana Island or you enter Victoria Island or Ikoyi, Like, let's talk about residential, let's talk about commercial. If you look at commercial real estate, high rises in Ikoyi and VI, you notice that some of the buildings are such luxurious buildings, glass outside, everything. These constructions are very delicate. They're not something you do ordinarily. Remember a building fell in Ikoyi a few years ago? These things are very, very, very technical. You know what I mean? The moving of bricks, steel, and all the beams they put these houses, go look at a video on YouTube on how they built Dubai Mall. And let me tell you, it's not different from what Sujimoto is doing. Shijibomi Ogundele, Dr. Ogundele is really putting up some real good structures in Ikoyi, VI, and other areas of the world. It's the same thing with, Chadavid, okay? I said Chavid. The guy I talked about, David, the one in the middle of Abuja, he also has choice properties around the world, outside Nigeria. Now, going back to Ogundele Sujimoto. Suji is very popular. He's a young guy. He's friends with a lot of popular people, celebrities and all. And some of his residential properties are so wonderful. I've been to Banana Island once, and I did see his, is it Lucretia? I don't know if I'm pronouncing it well, but it's a very beautiful apartment building, okay? A few celebrities live in there, and I've seen others, but I haven't been inside them. Hopefully when I come to Nigeria, or I'm in a country where he has properties, I want to see the insides. I can only look through his Instagram page and others, okay? So, Ogundele Sujimoto is number one. He's young, he's charismatic, his focus, the attention to detail is there. And in 10 years, I would say he will still remain number one, when it comes to choice properties, when it comes to luxurious residential and commercial real estate. Let me tell you something. Being a pharmacist, among other things, people say, how do you read prescriptions? How do you know what pills to give? It's the same thing I ask the pilots. Okay, I'm an aviation buff. How do you carry an A380 out in the sky? That's like a house. It's the same thing I want to ask Sujimoto if I ever meet him. Like, how do you build this high rise with steel beams and everything into the sky? This Dubai, whatever. Some of his designs was inspired by some of these Dubai designs, and he can do it. If people like Sujimoto, okay, Chavid, Phyno, and others out there can actually develop real estate this way, clear the lands, clear titles, everything, Nigeria would be a great place to live. Let me tell you. See what the Ghanaians are doing. It's time people start moving to Nigeria. We have choice real estates. And some of these American reporters that say, you should see what they're building with in Nigeria. Bricks, concrete, So what happened in California. So it's not the same method of building houses. Everything in America is not number one. Please. You got to value these guys, the real estate guys. So there's still the real estate moguls who are the old money guys, Okeowo and all of them. $800 million is worth and all, but the young ones, the young people are the future, basically. I'm Dr. Kemi. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me see you in the comment bashing me with your own real estate, whatever. But everybody has their opinion. But these are my 3 for 2025. Watch them and watch how they move. Phyno, oh yes, Phyno. David Charles and Dr. Shijibomi Ogundele Sujimoto.